made my son an addict before he even had the chance at life, you know? And that's something I have to look at him every day and see.
Take a little time to talk.
You watch them go to court and they'll say, you know, I don't need help. And they have mess sores on them and they're all whacked out. And you wonder, what are we going to do?
Help wash away the pain. Make a plan to get inside.
I knew in my gut, man, I just didn't want to admit it. That's my child, and how do I deal with this, you know?
This one horse town, we've been hanging around.
Stay away from all the influences, and when I come around influence, I got to think of where I'm at right now and where I'm going to be if something like this happens again.
If a dream is all it takes, then
And the only thing that does support me is the drugs. They make me feel wanted, they make me feel special. They don't call me names or tell me how bad of a job I'm doing as a parent or as a mother. It's just tearing me up inside, and I just want to die.
So baby, what do you say? Don't you tell me that you want to stay. Don't worry, you've got nothing to fear. Have a little faith in me.
What made you try it?
Friends, yeah.
Just like being at a party or something they had it? Or what? How did that go down?
It was a way to wake me up to go to school.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
This tattoo I have right here,
Yeah.
stands for Tina Jo Sutton. And she was 16 years old, and she was slamming $150 a day. And she was strangled and left in a motel room in Portland, Oregon. And nobody gave a care about it. The only thing I can say is that it's the devil's serum, and it leads you nowhere but into hell. And it doesn't allow you any vindication to get back to God.
It's coming right out of the heart of them.
That is the heart, brother, and it's hard to sit here and not cry about it.
You know, it takes a good person and takes him to hell. I mean, in living life, they're in fucking hell.
Like I said, it came on us so fast. It's hard sometimes to believe that it happened as quickly as it did, but it happened, it seems like now, almost overnight. It's worse than all the other things I've seen come before it. You know, heroin, cocaine, you know, name any other drug that you want to. This has had a greater impact on our community than anything else that I've ever seen in my criminal justice career. When I first became involved in narcotic enforcement back in the late 80s, we really didn't have much meth around here, so we went down to California. They were having a big problem there just so we could learn more about it. And one of the ways I learned about it is one of the first calls that I went on with the officers down there. You know, it was early in the morning, and this person was out there, you know, before the sun came up, working on the dirt in their driveway because, you know, they were so wired from being up for days on meth. And the people that we found there, you know, they were emaciated. They were, you know, 90, 100 pounds. They had sores all over their body. They were paranoid, you know, from the continued use of it. They were violent sometimes with the people around them. They would do anything for it. Young girls were selling their bodies to people that they didn't know because meth meant that much to them. You know, that's how I got introduced to it. That's when I first found out about it. And certainly my experience since then has been no different. I've seen people murder for it. I've seen people be murdered because of it. I've seen, you know, young women do things that they would never have ever considered before. People commit suicide because of the effects that it has on their body, because eventually they just, they can't get the same effect they did before, and they suffer depression as a result of its continued use. I've seen it tear families apart. I could go on and on about how it's ravaged people, how it's impacted people I know and have seen. There is nothing good to say about it, and all the bad stuff you've heard is true. And here's one thing I can guarantee: if you don't have meth now, you're going to have meth soon in your community. And when it gets there, it's going to kick your butt.
I go to work and I'm surrounded by murderers, rapists, robbers, liars, and thieves every day.
Pop out parks, 24.
Brett King is a deputy with the Multnomah County Sheriff's Department Corrections Division in Portland, Oregon. A few years ago, the deputy began to make some observations about the noticeable deterioration of certain inmates coming in and out of the jail. Slowly, he began to chronicle their mugshots and created a before and after collection that took much of the nation by storm and surprise. Facesofmeth.us is now one of the most visited meth-related websites in America. King also began to interview inmates about their relationship to meth, its effects on their life, their body, and their families.
My greatest hope for my project is that young people will see it, one young person would see it, and say, you know what, that stuff's not for me. The feeling of disgust associated with that drug will carry over into that child's life, so that when someone passes him or her the pipe, he or she will say, no, do you know what that stuff does? Without a second thought.
Since beginning the program, King and his Faces of Meth presentation have appeared on several national and international television shows, and the deputy from Multnomah County has taken his collection to hundreds of classrooms, reaching tens of thousands of America's students.
Appearance is important at that age. You got to have the right kind of shoes. You got to have the right clothes. And if you're a parent, boy, you sure know that. So, all I did was play on something that kids found very important. And that got their attention for long enough for me to give them an education. And that's the best I can do.
The Portland area lies just an hour and a half inland from the gorgeous Pacific Northwest coast. Contemporary design and towering timber collide here, creating an eccentric mix of people. Professional sports live here: art, outdoor life, history, and meth. Although many contend it's not a problem of epidemic proportions, a walk in downtown Portland might convince you otherwise. As we drove around the city on a Thursday night, with each tick of the clock, more and more of the homeless that plague Portland emerged, perhaps literally from the woods that engulf it. Many of them obviously suffering the side effects of meth, many riding the meth wave. One thing was clear: as surely as meth was pumping through their veins, pride and shame had bled out. An undeniable sign that meth had made its mark. By most accounts, amphetamine first came to be in the late 1880s after it was synthesized in Germany. At the time, it was a drug looking for a disease. It stayed that way until 1919, when a Japanese pharmacologist developed a derivative known as methamphetamine. The drug was harvested and used for a multitude of over-the-counter purposes, including asthma and narcolepsy. Meth was used in the 1930s on bomber pilots to maintain their alertness. It's also been said the drug was given to kamikaze pilots and Nazi troops during the invasion of Poland and Russia. It's been noted as well that Adolf Hitler received daily injections of meth from 1942 until his death in 1945. A meth epidemic hit post-war Japan in the mid-1940s and spread to Guam and the U.S. Marshall Islands. In the 1950s, meth was legally marketed in the United States as Benzedrine, used to fight obesity, narcolepsy, and sinus inflammation. Pep pills, or bennies, were also being used on the social front by truck drivers and college students. Things took a drastic turn in the 1960s. It was during that time that meth made its way into the underground market and found a home in the growing biker gang population. In 1970, the Controlled Substances Act restricted the use of injectable meth, and the race to find a new way to get it began. Primitive meth labs began to appear and have continued to evolve as has the drug. The once water-soluble drug that was taken in the pill form has progressed to a refined concoction that is more than 99% pure and more than 6 times more powerful. Mega labs, most of which are said to originate in Mexico, have begun to dissolve the need for the home lab and can produce hundreds of pounds at a time.
Okay.
These are basically all the ingredients you...
These are all the ingredients that I'll put out here with the exception of anhydrous ammonia.
Sure.
Okay. But everything in here, and when I have it out on the table, you get a pan of this stuff. All this stuff here will make, as it is, would make about 3 grams of methamphetamines. That would be enough to keep a person high for about 5 days. Okay. One of my favorites is Johnny Cat. The Johnny Cat cat litter, if I'm not mistaken, because I haven't read all the ingredients and how they put all this stuff together, is used as a filtering type of a scenario.
Oh, okay.
Where they'll pour it through it. Any wattage will do because they make pipes out of these things, and this is what they use to smoke their drug out of. And we understand that they like the glass ones is because the smoke settles on the inside of it and they can re-smoke it.
Oh.
Lacquer thinner, another common ingredient. We have our varieties of heat. These contain a lot of alcohol, and they use the isopropyl alcohol.
What is that, antifreeze?
It's gas treatment.
Oh, okay.
When your car gets too cold, your gas ain't working too right, you put that in there to give your gasoline a little extra zip on a cold day.
The only way I could get out of bed and function was if I had more methamphetamines.
When I first started an IV, and it was just one time, and I was hooked bad. I just love that IV.
You feel like you're on top of the world. Like nothing can get you. I mean, but in reality, when you come down, it's all different.
We have fertilizer, aluminum sulfate. Of course, we have our really good one. We have our propane. They use this, of course, to heat the product with. One of my favorites, of course, is the battery acid. And we have our brake cleaner. This stuff contains ether.
First, it was fun. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. It was kind of a thing I just did to do. And I don't know, you just get really, really high, feel a lot of energy, and then like the first time was the best. It's just like, I don't know, it took me in. I wanted more.
Iodine, tincture of iodine. And of course we need the lithium from the Energizer Bunny. They'll cut these batteries apart and take the lithium cells that are inside of them out, and they grind them up and combine them with the rest of the material. We have red sulfur. They'll cut the ends off of these matches, and they'll cut the white part that strikes. Mm-hmm. They cut the white part off, and then they keep all the red stuff. And of course, like I said before, my real favorite is caustic lye. It's a drain cleaner.
I remember intravenously using for the last time and taking the needle out of my arm, and you know, my life was about over. I mean, I was just, you know, I probably weighed 90 pounds, 100 pounds, if that. It was killing me.
I was down to 119 pounds. My hair was thin. I was just exhausted after staying up for weeks on end. And then I would crash and sleep for 3 days, you know.
Are you scared of using again?
Yeah, I am, because if I start using it, will kill me.
Why do you say that?
Why? Because once I get started, I don't think I can stop.
Of course, we also have our Drano liquid plumber is also used. Acetone, another popular product to be used. Lighter fluid, paint thinner, and we have our ammonia. We have rock salt or table salt, and of course, what you can buy locally over the counter. In fact, you can't buy more than 1 or 2 packages of these when you go to the grocery store anymore because it's marked on the counter. You can only buy 1 or 2 at most.
It took who I was. It took, and I still today don't know who I am. It took who I was as a person. I would have given anything or would have done anything when I was high, just to stay high.
But I don't guess that I will ever be until you trust me again.
what is going on with meth here?
It's bad. It's everywhere. I mean, sometimes, like, it's just everywhere. It's unbelievable. Like, you wouldn't even imagine people that do meth. Like, you wouldn't even think that they're tweakers. They're everywhere. Like, I have friends that do it.
Yeah? Have you ever tried it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you done it?
No. I haven't done it. Have you done it? Yeah, I've done it.
And I want to say there's nothing to do, and there really isn't anything to do at all. It's nothing, and so we go get meth to have a little fun. I don't know.
I hear your voice in the strangest places, like the angels sing. You've been saying that you're not sure.
These young people, they will grasp it and take it 1, 2, 3 times. Well, I'm not addicted. And they continue doing it, and all of a sudden they look up and going, you know, I want to have this. I want to have, and when the reality is, no, it's not want, you're starting to need it. It seems to be hitting the young people the most. It's endless. The young people that I have had contact with is just, it makes you cry, because you realize how terrible that this drug scene is.
I don't know, just seeing it done. Like even when I watch a video or something, I see them smoking it or anything, it just kind of go back and visualize it. It was just fun, and I think if it was right in front of me, I probably would end up using it again.
Are you scared of that drug?
Yeah, definitely.
Why is it so appealing here?
A lot of people say it's because there's nothing to do. It's Montana, you know. I really have no idea.
Okay, talk to me about this Montana Meth project, the billboards and stuff. Is that doing anything? You know what I'm talking about?
Man, it's just making people laugh, maybe.
It's making people laugh?
When you run by a billboard, what's that about?
What do I think about that?
Yeah. You think it's effective?
Well,
does it affect you?
No, I think that it's like gross if people actually get like that, because I've personally never seen someone get that bad. So I don't know. I'm just thinking, is that for real?
Well, the imagery, as you know, you have 30 seconds.
Right.
30 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. It's amazing to capture an attention and to have a message.
I'm only gonna try meth once. I'm not gonna be like that guy. Hey, look, I'm only gonna smoke meth once. I'm not gonna be like that guy. Look, I'm just gonna shoot up just once. All right, I'm not gonna be like that guy. I'm not gonna be like that guy.
I'm only gonna do meth once. I'm not gonna end up like that guy.
The Montana Meth Project, which began in 2005, is a campaign founded on validated research and shocking reality-based tactic. The program uses television, radio, print, web, and outdoor advertising to reach the most popular demographic trying meth in Montana, 12 to 17-year-olds. The primary goal of the program is simple: stop usage before it begins, pleading with teens not to try the drug, not even once. The program has made waves across the country, getting the attention of several communities, even so much that the campaign is being used in other states. Director Peg Shea.
We basically developed a system whereby 90% of our 12 to 17-year-olds, 3 times a week, were hit by one of our media campaigns.
In some capacity.
In some form or other.
Yeah.
So it's a high saturation, high quality product, unifying theme, not even once. And we really basically used pretty traditional consumer marketing process in doing this, which is also relatively unique to drug prevention. I think the driving force is to wake people up and to get their attention. And how do you do that in today's world when we are saturated with information? You have to be provocative.
Well, the Montana Meth Project is one that says we're going to put quantifiable goals out there. We're not just going to run advertisement. We want to make sure what we're doing is working. And if we're not touching the right demographic, we want to change the way we talk to them. We want to say it in a way that 13 to 17-year-old rural kids understand what we're faced with.
I think what we're doing here can be replicated anywhere in this country, and the outcome will be positive, because we are raising the conversation and dialogue. Even when I get calls with people complaining, or even when I get calls with people questioning our strategy, even when I get accused of whatever, it's still a dialogue about methamphetamine. How often does that happen?
In west central Wyoming lies the Wind River Reservation, comprised of two tribes, the Eastern Shoshone and the Northern Arapaho. In a story made popular by the Denver Post, it's reported that in 2001, a handful of Mexican drug cartel members found their way onto the Wind River Reservation, which lies just north of Lander in Riverton. The cartel members met women, moved in with them, and began to distribute meth, either free or for very little money. In less than 5 years, a majority of the reservation, which is home to just over 6,000, was addicted to meth. Between 2003 and 2004, charges for drug possession on the reservation rose 353%. Although the gang took a hit when most of the original cell members were arrested and removed from the reservation, many believe they will be back, if they aren't already.
Yeah, neither one will flow.
I'm a strong-minded person, and I know, things that I need to do, but there's just something about that it'll make you forget everything, the way you're brought up, the way you're just, all your morals, everything.
In early 2006, our cameras were invited into the courtroom for the sentencing of oil field worker Thomas Polanco, with his permission. He was charged with several different counts, including distribution of a controlled substance, methamphetamine.
You look like you've been a one-man crime lab.
Yes, Your Honor.
And why in the world would I not send you to prison? I don't.
The meth problem is mainly the main issue, that
So that's somehow a good thing?
No, Your Honor.
I only did all these crimes, but I'm also on meth. Now, how is that a good thing?
It's not, Your Honor.
662-6, which is a 4th-degree felony. I sentence you to 18 months with the Department of Corrections. On 05-684-6, I sentence you to 3 years with the Department of Corrections. On 05-842-6, I sentence you to 9 years with the Department of Corrections. Counts 1 and count 2 shall run concurrent with count 9 for a total exposure of 9 years. I'm going to place you on 5 years of probation. I'm going to recommend community corrections. Well, Mr. Polanco, I want you to succeed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I really do.
I will.
And I think there are other people that want you to succeed. But I can't do it, and nobody else can do it. But they can. Okay?
I understand that.
It's up to you.
I understand that, Your Honor.
And just do your very best, but like I said,
I thank you for giving me
it's an awful long time.
I thank you for the opportunity, just giving me a chance.
Don't disappoint me. Good luck to you, sir.
Stay away from all the influences, and when I come around influence, I got to think of where I'm at right now and where I'm going to be if something like this happens again.
Well, it's cold out here and no one got a light. Oh, it's cold out here and no one's got a light. So I sit and smoke alone. And I'm not talking bad magic.
It's on the drilling rigs still, as far as I'm concerned. I hear my son-in-law works on one of the drilling rigs. I've got several friends that are on the drilling rigs, and they say that it's there.
I mean, he came in, he was a good driver, well-liked in the field, he knew his stuff, he was smart, had a good sense of humor, and within 3 months, I couldn't find the truck. I didn't know where he was.
I don't know of any place else in the country where you can come and be an 18-year-old kid out of high school and have a valid driver's license, not even a CDL, just a valid driver's license, have no work experience, none, and pass a P test and make $60,000 to $80,000 your first year.
We do 30-some thousand drug tests a year out of this operation here in Rock Springs. We have about 1 in 6 people fail their drug test, and generally for methamphetamines. Methamphetamine causes some strange occurrences out in the rigs. Guys can work for weeks on end without having to take a break. All of a sudden they crash and they're gone.
I've seen over the last few years more people die on the rigs. If I'm correct, there's been 3 in the last year.
The danger is very clearly death.
Wyoming is not the only industrial area dealing with the methamphetamine problem. In the Four Corners area of New Mexico, which is one of America's largest natural gas basins and home to dozens of oil and gas companies, knowledge of the meth epidemic flows freely. Jason Sandell is a vice president with Aztec Well Service, a Farmington-based company. He says although it is an obvious problem in the industry, that does not necessitate the industry perpetuating the problem.
Well, from our company's standpoint, what needs to be done is we need to draw the line. We need to say that this is not acceptable within our company, within our industry, and we're working with our customers to help draw that line.
We are so short of people that it's getting to the point where they're just hiring. They're lowering their standards.
If they're doing meth, they're not thinking right. They are sick. We need to do something because we're going to pay one way or the other.
We have companies out there who are exceptionally diligent in trying to get rid of these guys, or at least keep them out of the field. So they try really hard, but sometimes there are those who will turn the blind eye because a warm, drugged, or alcoholed up body is better than no body at all.
It's scary. It's scary, and we don't know what it's doing to the babies. I mean, it might be something that shows up later on in life. You know, maybe we're going to have all these preschoolers and kindergarten children that we won't know why they're acting the way they're acting, you know? Who knows how it's going to show up. A lot of times they'll come in and they'll have a premature baby and they'll say, yeah, well, I did meth last night or last week, and that's what brings that on.
I have a son, Preston. He's also in the program here with me too, and he's 3. I was mean to Preston too. Like I would just let him cry, ignore him, and just not pay any attention to him. I'd cuss at him and tell him, you know, just leave me alone. And he was just a baby.
And I got pregnant twice, and I miscarried because of my use both times. And I was okay with that though, because I didn't want a kid. I didn't think about anything, you know, how bad it was. Then I got pregnant for the 3rd time, and that's with my son now. And I used all the way through my pregnancy, methamphetamines and marijuana. And he was born with methamphetamines in his system. And that didn't stop me from using. 2 days after I had him, I went to intravenously using again.
You know, I remember going to the hospital when they were being born, and I was high on methamphetamine and in the delivery room with them. You know, and once she had the baby, I left the hospital, you know, and went back to using methamphetamine. That was more important to me than what my kids were at the time.
I made my son an addict before he even had the chance at life, you know, and that's something I have to look at him every day and see.
Grandparents raising grandchildren is a huge issue that we have here. You know, tons and tons of grandparents who are raising their grandchildren due to methamphetamine use in the middle generation.
Laura Schmid-Pizzato is the manager of recovery services at Southwest Counseling Services, located in Rock Springs, Wyoming. The Mental Health and Substance Abuse Treatment Center deals with all addictions, but most of its clients are meth addicts. Often an alternative to incarceration, the 70-bed treatment center is also unique in the fact that it allows patients, both men and women, the opportunity to have their children with them. Both are factors that potentially play a big role in the road to recovery.
We definitely believe in coerced treatment. We believe that that is one of the avenues that will help people get clean. One of my priorities is that 5-year-olds should not be raised by meth addicts. You are addicted, you should not be raising these children. But that 5-year-old who's got the parents who are addicted, that 5-year-old doesn't want foster parents, that 5-year-old doesn't want grandparents, that 5-year-old wants their own parents to raise them. That 5-year-old wants, you know, even if their mom is strung out and high, that's still their mom and they still love that mom and they want to be raised by that mom. And so we've got to take that mom and that family unit and put them back together through treatment and other options and get them back whole as a family unit.
These two are mine here.
Oh, okay. What's their names?
Tony and Brandon. Tony Lee Jones and Brandon Lee Jones.
How old are they?
Tony is 6, Brandon is 5.
I do. What's her name? Both of those are her?
Yeah.
Tell me about those pictures.
She was 3 years.
And what's her name again? Those are the same boy?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me his name again?
Zach.
Zach?
Yes, Zachary Houston. And this is him now.
He's a handful, huh? Yeah.
My baby.
Only wants to love, but she's not sure if she knows how.
Where we had a fellow that was living with a woman who had 3 young daughters, and this guy systematically tortured this young girl over a period of time. He was on a 3-day meth bender. He tortured and murdered this girl. She was not quite 2. You know, he beat her, he held her under hot water, he burned her, you know, he did terrible things to her, things that you can't even imagine. You know, truth is stranger than fiction in cases like that, and that had a meth link to it.
The budgets tell us what is happening to our families. This is tearing families apart. It's reducing productivity of Montanans. But in our correction system, in our education system, health and human services, our foster care system, when you have parents who are taking meth and their children are taken away from them and taken into the foster care system, imagine the kinds of effects it has on families for a generation to come.
People who say that arresting is not the answer, I heard that over and over again from therapists. I'm telling you that's an incorrect notion, because as I understand my role, if I get you early, or if I just get you and get you in the system, I've done my job and we'll get you into the system. So I'm an advocate of arrest all of them.
We want to see this problem go away. We want to see it go away soon. The cops have been getting quite a substantial amount of federal money to fight the problem, but the problem then lies in we put a bunch of people in the court system, and the court system doesn't have any place to put these people.
You know, it's very devastating in more ways than one, not just to the individual, but to society as a whole and those communities. To what it does, you know, to foster care in New Mexico specifically, and then what you're seeing, the impact in law enforcement, you know, the different associated crimes with meth.
In a time of growth and when we should be prospering and moving forward and being able to offer our community better streets, better water, better sewer, better parks, better recreation, I have to take a large percentage of that money and dump it back into police protection and rehabilitation.
You've got to be willing to step out of your box and say, you know what, I know that there's a problem in my community. I know that this person is using. And instead, we tend to be aware that something's going on, but don't really want to offend anybody, upset anybody, and we close the door and go about our own merry business, because all of us are busy and we have, you know, our own problems and we've got our own life to deal with.
I do think there's an overall feeling of helplessness in dealing with this drug. I feel that way myself. All I'm doing is what I can do.
What can I do within my scope to help in this problem? What can I do? You know, there's professionals over here, and there's the therapist over there, and the sheriff's doing his business. So what can Mike do? What can Mike and Rock Springs PD do?
So we're working with interdiction, we're working with law enforcement, not only at the border, but in Washington State, Idaho, along our interstates. So interdiction is number one. Education is important to get to these young people before they try it even once. And then rehabilitation obviously is important as well.
What do you think is more important right now, prevention or treatment?
You know, I think in your question lies the problem, and the answer is neither. When we leave one for the other, we're missing the boat.
The reality of this drug is that it destroys families, friends, communities, everything. And anybody who says that this isn't that big of a problem, for me, this is our own little war that we have going on here locally.
We need to work together. We need to submerge this problem. We need to work it as a community. Not any one entity can do this one. I said it's too much for any one, but we could all together. When you lock arms, it's pretty hard for you to get through.
In Farmington, New Mexico, an ambitious effort is underway. A pair of meth summits have been held, with more planned, under the umbrella of the San Juan Safe Communities Initiative. The summit's primary goal is to rally members of surrounding communities and their leaders and work together towards controlling and suffocating the meth issue. Part of the plan has been to create task forces that are responsible for certain areas, such as law enforcement, prevention, and treatment.
We'll have some continuity, and we'll also have accountability, because the task force, if they set out to do something, is going to have to report back to somebody. And that's the plus side. And I'm hoping that these task force, the guys that are on the line, understand, well, look, I've been saying I needed this and I need that, and nobody will listen to me, and those kind of things. And I'm saying, okay, we're going to give you an opportunity, and we're going to do everything we can to give you what you need, but you got to produce.
Late in the production of this documentary, producer-director Justin Hunt was invited into the home of a family struggling with meth addiction. The family consisted of James, 29, and 26-year-old Holly. Both were active meth addicts and parents to 4 children, ranging from 2 to 8 years old. When we arrived, the police were on the verge of removing the children from the home, which, among other issues, lacked running water. James and Holly were fighting in the street. After things calmed down, the children remained. James and Holly went inside, and so did we.
Well, even if she offers you a place to stay, you don't want to stay there. Well, you can stay there and start that job, take care of her dad, just till we get the money up, or file my taxes, and we can go back home.
Daddy, why you got that on me?
Huh?
I guess.
Do you want to do that? I mean, it would have been paid if she wouldn't have run out yesterday on me. Or the day before, I mean, because I had a job to where I was going to pull the transmission for a guy and put another one in, and I'd had the money right then and there to pay the water. But the reason why the bills really got out of hand is, the main reason is because I didn't lose, I resigned from my job. And one of my main reasons from resigning from there is because she's had a lot of health issues. You know, she's got cancer and everything.
She does.
And she was supposed to have gotten that taken care of. It's like,
what's going on with that?
it's cervical cancer. But I mean, it can turn out to be real bad if you don't get it taken care of, I know. The meth has got a lot to do with it, yeah. It seems like when we had spare money, that's where it all went. Instead of buying stuff we really needed, it went on meth.
How much of your money has been going to that?
To the meth?
Yeah.
I'd say with Pop staying here, it was mainly his money was going for it. But he'd give us a little bit of money to pay on the bills. But I'd say out of our money, maybe $50 a week or better was going for it. Between 40 and 50 a week. But with him staying here, it was his whole paycheck was going on it, I think. I want to work on it. But then again, I want us to get help too, you know. I want to quit. I want us both to quit, not just one. I want us both to be 100% clean of everything. I want it all to be done, and maybe life would be better. I think if we'd have been clean and none of us had been on meth, and then there wouldn't have been all this assuming stuff and just more or less putting things together and doing it the wrong way, you know, because you hear one thing here and you hear something else here, and you sit down when you're on meth and you try to put it together, you think you got it right, but and you know, and in your head it sounds right, but it's not. It's totally wrong, you know, like thinking that she's screwing around when she's not. Well, it seems like when I'm on it, I can function okay, but as far as I know, I'm functioning okay, but it's like people can tell, you know, that something's wrong with me. And when I'm really coming down off it, the way it's like I can't function at all. It's like all I want to do is just lay around and be lazy. You know, it's like I don't even want to get up and cook anything. I just want to lay around. I used to go to church and stuff before this, you know. I mean, if I wasn't on this stuff and doing it, I guarantee we'd be living a nice Christian life now. Yeah, I've got a lot of regrets because I know that church was something I was always into, and I know if I would have never took this stuff in, and like I said, we'd all be going to church. The kids would be, yeah, I think everything would have been a lot better. I think it's ruined me as a family man, one, and as a dad. I mean, I know the kids know about it. You know, they've seen it. You know, so.
So what's the next step for you, James? What do you want to do now, man?
So win the lottery for one. But no, my next step is I'd like to get help. Yeah, I would like to see a way to get some help. I can't afford it, but like you said, there's ways that I can do it without having to pay anything. But I like to get help, and not just for me, but just for my wife. I like to get help from counselors as how to be a better parent, how to have more control over my kids without it, you know, and just whatever help I can get.
I didn't make you hit your toy. I was supposed to tell you jump. Hey, no. No. No, do you want to go to the bathroom? Okay. I'm going to lay Lala down on the couch still.
I was between, I'd say between 10 and 13, 12, 13, I don't remember. My mom's always smoked weed, done crack, snorted coke, done meth, shot up meth, was an alcoholic. I just got a hold of it one day, and I watched her as I was growing up, and I got a hold of it, and I started, and the first hit done me over. And I could never quit.
That was meth?
But I've always had a falling back or a problem in my life. And I've always turned to it because as my childhood haunts me.
How do you even deal with that?
It's hard. I don't talk about it. No, when I try to talk about it, nobody understands, or it seems that nobody understands or nobody listens. And I keep it all bottled up inside. And the only way I know how to kill the pain is the drugs. The drugs make me feel special. It makes me feel like I'm a person. That somebody wants, or something wants me out there.
Are you scared of what it might be like if you don't have those in your life?
Yes, and the only thing that does want me is the drugs, and it don't put me down.
So that's why it's so tempting to stay with them.
Your dad's tools. Come here. Here, buddy, come here. I want you to sit on Mommy's lap.
I want to be Spider-Man.
Okay, you be Spider-Man. Don't touch that.
Right.
Hot.
I touched it.
Come here. Come here. Please don't do that. Please, I beg you, don't do that. Please, baby. To me, I feel that I have no help, no one to support me on anything that I do. And the only thing that does support me is the drugs. They make me feel wanted, they make me feel special. They don't call me names or tell me how bad of a job I'm doing as a parent or as a mother. It's just tearing me up inside, and I just want to die. That's why I don't go get my cancer taken care of. It seems like I'm fighting for nothing. It's a lost cause. I'm gonna go outside and smoke a cigarette real quick. Can I have my lighter back, please? Ow. Roger, could you happen to do me a big favor? Take Jimmy down to where my truck is. Can you loan him $2 for gas so we can get my truck here? They took Pops to jail, and my truck ran out of gas right in front of the police station. We're going to tow it off at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
All right, I'll go get him. Thank you very much, Roger. Odie! Look. What'd I do? Did I?
Yeah.
Well, it's not Christmas no more, but you still like the lights, don't you? Yeah, I'm smoking a cigarette. You want me to put it out? No, not you, you. Ah, it burns. Oh, you want to throw it?
Yeah.
You can throw it now. It's out. Good job.
You're my best mom.
I'm your best mom.
Let me talk.
The path I chose was not very good at all.
How old were you there?
I was between 11, I'd say about 11 or 13.
What would you say to that girl?
I wish I could go back to being her. I'd give anything. I'd give anything to change, go back and change time. She was perfect. Grandma helped her deal with everything. My grandma was a big support in my life. My grandmother understood everything that I went through. Life just doesn't mean a whole lot to me. But somewhere in there, I mean, it's got to. I got to figure out why I'm fighting for what I'm fighting for, because I've been trying to figure it out.
What's your answer to that question right now?
3 days ago, I could have told you I was fighting for nothing. A week ago, I could have told you I was fighting for nothing. As of last night, I can tell you right now what I'm fighting for is my children. Not to be miserable, not to be put through the shit that I put through every day of my life. Because as I see it, I'm no better than my mother. But I'm gonna fight like hell to make their lives better every day. They don't deserve all that extra money we had or took and spent on dope. Could have went for buying her first home, buying them awesome toys that they want. And I looked at the bag and I looked at the pipe. I kept looking at the bag and I kept looking at the pipe, and I finally just threw it. It's like, I can't do this. Let him watch SpongeBob. Hey, come here. You can watch it in my room.
No, you got little TV.
Hey, Please don't. Please. Guess what's done?
What?
My love, your hot dog and cheese. Your hot dog and cheese.
There are no deal.
I guess I'll go out there and hit that hot water heater up for some water so I can take a bath. The kids take a bath.
I have to take one.
I'm gonna lay down with you. Hold on. How about Mama lay with you?
Where's your mom at?
I'm back there.
What's she doing?
I'm sleeping.
Where's your dad?
I'm back there.
What's he doing?
I'm sleeping.
Do you have school today?
I don't know.
What time do you have school?
I don't know. I was going past my school.
What?
My bus passed.
Your bus passed?
Yep.
So you're not going to go to school today?
The oldest boy, when I got him yesterday, took him out of the truck, he told me that he seen her and Pop smoking weed. That's what he said, but I know what they're doing, you know.
So, what are the next couple of days going to be like for her?
For her, they're probably going to be a little rough. She'll probably be a little on the edge, you know.
Hello. What? What do you mean? His brother's got it.
Who's that?
Yep. I was trying to tell Jimmy last night, but he would not. Well, then I guess I'll be going to jail then today, huh? Fuck you.
It's your fault. Wouldn't listen to me.
And what's that?
I'm going to jail because I'm going for Grand Theft Auto.
You're just all pissed off because I got Pops thrown in jail, so he didn't give you no money. Hard telling what you had to do for that money. Well, how else am I supposed to? Half the time you are.
Okay, big smoke. Big smoke.
Go to the bathroom.
Now, everything that's been said, he knows. Like you doing drugs, making meth, everything that's ever been said.
Oh, I don't care.
I don't. I told you, everything's out in the open. Everything I say is free and clear and true. I want to change. Did you? James,
Because I'm going to screw Pops again.
I don't care that you're screwing Pops, but the
That's
simple
the whole
point.
fucking deal.
No, you don't.
He's your man. You're just all pissed off about it.
No, you don't understand. You don't listen to what I've got to say. You don't got time to sit down and talk to me. It's your way or no way. That's all it's ever been. Why can't you take 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes out of your sweet, precious time, God, and talk to me?
It don't do no good. You done said you don't want me to go with her, but yet it was all fine and dandy last night. Everything was fine and dandy.
No, I didn't say you could go with her. I said, and I told you last night the same thing, but you didn't have time to listen. Everything else was more important.
Yeah.
Stop. Stop for a minute. But, you know...
No, I'm going to get your mom's truck running so she
Just
can go.
stop. 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 You don't never got time to listen to what I got to say. If I really...
Yeah, because you got a bitch and nag about every freaking day.
I'm not trying to bitch and nag. You don't listen to me. You don't got time to listen to me. You don't got time for my feelings, but boy, I have time for yours. I take everything that you say into consideration, but when it comes down to this...
Oh, you do?
Yes, I do. But you don't ever take mine. You don't honestly know how I feel. You don't. Stop. Stop. I don't want to fight.
Well, then let's go back in the house because it's cold out here. Get in the house with no shirt on. Go. You should never come out here with no shirt on.
But I do want it for our fucking 4 children, this family to work.
Well, whatever.
I do honestly love you, but I'm not gonna
It's like we get our taxes back. We're gonna buy this vehicle, and that one's gonna stay. He can keep it. I don't want it. And I'll tell the cops or whatever it takes that I've done all the work to that truck. The only thing Pop's done to that truck is put a brand new battery in. That's it.
Okay, so big deal.
That's the only thing Pop's done to that truck. I'm the one that sit down and I rewired the whole damn truck from top to bottom. I did.
Well,
And you know I did.
It's still, yes, I know this, but it still ain't gonna matter. She don't got her truck by noon, then she ain't gonna get it all.
Well then, I guess she just don't get it all then, does she?
Hello? Hello?
So?
It's not! Dominic, will you mind your own business when it comes to something?
I didn't do this. Alan.
No, Bob too.
Alan heard it. And I was like, where's Mom?
It's going to be the same thing as it always
No,
is.
it's not, Jimmy. I'm willing to work on my half. Are you willing to work on your half? Are you willing to work? I'm willing to work on my half, but are you willing to work on
You're
your half?
more worried about Pop still. You're
No,
still worried
I'm
about
not.
his check and this and that.
No, I told you, if I wanted that check, I could go get it and I could be gone. But that is not what I want to do. I want my relationship with you to work. I do want to make this work. Not only for us,
Get.
for our 4 children. I'm willing to do anything for our 4 children and us. I will do my half, James. Never before would I say that I wanted to do my half. I'm willing to take any prospects, do anything. I never have. When I meant when I said reality hit me. And when I hit rock bottom, I meant it. I do love you.
Then when Mary calls, just tell her where her truck's at. Come get it.
I did hit rock bottom.
Tell her that's kind of crazy. She could pay Pops for working on it, and I don't get a damn thing. Which I ought to just go put a lien on it. Huh.
Look.
Where'd he
please
go to
have
the
a-
bathroom?
Here, can I please have a hug? I do love you. I really do. Will you please try this to make this work for our kids? Not only for our kids, for us. I guess we're gonna go back home. My dad is willing to let us live there. Dad is willing to put us in through counseling. My dad wants everything to work between us two. 15 years is a lot of years to give up. What do you want, milk? Have I wanted the urge to just do it? Don't get me wrong, yes. But my mind tells me I need it. I know I don't need it and I don't want it, so.
Where's my milk?
What part of your body's telling you you don't need it?
Where's my milk?
Part of my mind tells me I need it, but the other part tells me I don't.
Does your heart tell you that you don't need it?
Yeah, my heart tells me I don't need it. There's more to life.
How much of the problems you're dealing with now are related to?
Meth,
Yeah. How much of it?
80% of it.
Yeah, how much of it relays back to it? I mean, money, you'd have more money?
Yeah.
What else?
My kids would have more things. We wouldn't be without water. We wouldn't be without almost a place not to live at.
Health-wise, what about health?
I would have myself taken care of. You only got one opportunity in a life. And doing drugs has took my life over. But I do want to see my kids graduate. I do want to be there to watch my first kids have their grandbabies. I want to watch my children walk down an aisle. I want to be there when my kids say I do.
Oh, I know. Can't wait for that, huh? Well, that means they're out of the house then, huh?
No, nope.
Means it's time for them to take care of us. Pedal, Lodi. Pedal, buddy.
Daddy.
He's a short lady. That's what they wanted on. They grabbed those. They were like, put this on, Mom. Mom would put them on.
I want to stand for my okay?
No.
I love you. Please. Sissy. Lala. Ready? The next thing we gotta do.
I thought you stood ready.
We gotta buy her a bike. Are you gonna help me carry this stuff in for a while?
Okay. Let's help Mom carry that stuff until we go follow.
We are getting ready to go to Illinois. But we are going to take a couple-day vacation, but we will be there Monday.
Where are you going to go and what are you going to do for vacation?
We're just going to take a long route to go sightseeing and everything.
You steered clear?
Yeah.
For all 2.5 weeks?
Yeah. Oh, well, I smoked some weed, so.
And what about you? Have you stayed away from stuff the past couple of weeks?
Yeah.
Completely?
Oh, yeah.
How's that been?
It was rough at first, but I was just keep myself busy and keep my mind off it. It's all right. I think if we'd have stayed, we'd have probably, I don't know, had no kids.
Why, taken away?
Yeah, maybe. That's what I was thinking.
Did that scare you?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You're just going to have to sit your little butt down because I'm going to take your wet shoes off.
Yeah, they should be first, you know.
Look, Jimmy!
Go get her, babe. Now she's going to be all wet. Uh-oh, Lala. Get up, La.
I'm going to see.
Oh, man. Well, Mom got to change her now before we go.
I want to see Dad.
Lala, you're not supposed to sit in the water.
No, you will not, because I'm going home and
because you didn't pay me the $50 bucks.
Well,
You didn't pay me.
He worked on your fucking truck.
You didn't pay me.
Fucking
And I paid you every time.
No, get your
I
fucking
gave you
drunk ass out of here. That's why I look at get.
I gave you $50 for groceries. I gave you.
And he worked fucking.
You never got paid back.
He worked on your fucking truck.
And
I
paid you
remember.
everything. Plus, you owe me. You know what? You want to be like this? Fuck you. God help you.
God help you.
No life cunt motherfuckers. I hope you get what you deserve.
I hope you get what you deserve called a DUI. For the third time.
Stealing from one thing is one.
I didn't. Fucking God damn it. I didn't steal from you. Yeah, you better go because I'll knock you the fuck out. Oh, I'm not going to leave my plant. Well, hold on. I'm going to hold plant. Chubby, that's my plant.
All right, Ford, ready?
Started my journey from the inside. I sailed across the desert like the ocean's tide. Put a hole in my vessel, started taking on sand. After all the time I traveled.
Injected into the West Coast in the mid-70s, meth continues to pulse through the veins of America, riding its true arteries, the interstates, feeding rural communities along the way. It has now reached the heartland and moves still eastward. You've seen the damage done. You've seen the efforts on the community front. You've met people who were on it and are now off of it, all of them fearful of its return. Perhaps for the first time, you've seen the true shame in their eyes. Meth is not a big city drug. It finds its way into the cracks and crevices of our country. It's crushing the men and choking the women of America. It's straining our protectors and our leaders. It's cheating our children of their childhood. It's creating a generational gap, and for the most part, it's doing it all under the radar. Not anymore. It's true the scales of this battle are not balanced. There is much more to be done, but much more that can be done. America is starting to see that its people are drowning in desire for this drug. It's starting to see the need for rescue. It's starting to rally, and that is what makes it America.
Took a ride in his limo. He offered the moon. He said, I'll make you famous. And I'm sure he didn't lie. I don't need to be famous, just to live my life. Searching far and wide, he's trying to find a star that will be his guide. Says, Jasper, have you seen it? Has it crossed your side? Said, man, I quit looking, and that's how I got mine. So keep your money, leave my pride. Take what's yours, I've got mine. lost my way. I made my mark, but it really didn't stay. I long to come home, to sleep in my bed. I struggled and I fought, but I ended up dead. So you can save your money and bide your time, 'cause you'll get yours just like I got mine.
For more information on prevention or treatment in your area, log on to AmericanMeth.org.
Can you hear me now that it's your son, daughter, in the slaughter? And why aren't you crying out loud? It seems the very least we all can do is run out of breath. I pray they each wake up screaming from American Meth. Believe me, I know what it's like to be out of control. Take the medication to get locked down in the hole. To hear you're not a person till a urine cup is full is when you need the right to look up and say I'm still beautiful. So this is where you sharpen up your claws. The harder you hit bottom, the harder the withdrawals. Get your stash in your denial and you flush them out to sea. And look up in the mirror and say who you wanna be. My mama cried every single night, never giving up, always in the middle of a fight. And all I know is when it rained, it hit her. She always maintained that at the end of every tunnel there's a light. And you can get to brighter spaces even when the whole place is blinded by chemicals, cracked to Viagra. And my guess is you know what Tourette's is. Well, guess what? That used to be me. Niagara, Niagara. Say that all your mama gave you was a dream. The hope that you would one day turn your whisper to a scream. A prayer that you would be more than a number. Never be a martyr. That you look out at the world and say, I will dream harder. Now I'm moving on to greener pastures, wider spaces. No more rocks and no more hard places. Finally feeling like a real thing's inside me. I'm the rock of ages, and when they untie me, I'll walk outside without alarms. And I spread them even though there may be marks on my arms. Because I finally feel what it takes to meet this monster face to face. Amazing grace.